What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Zaylu, man. Alright, I'm coming with y'all with another video. So it's coming around, it's almost Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna react to some scary Thanksgiving video, like stories, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna listen to one, because they're true, and then we're gonna watch an animated one after. So I know these videos are long, but if y'all stay to the end, I appreciate it, man. If y'all haven't already, make sure y'all like the video right now. And make sure y'all subscribe, turn on them post noties, man. And we going crazy, man. We almost to 450. I want to shout out to the 421 that just subbed, man. 421, bro. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all doing your thing. But let's get into this video. Alright, y'all. Let's get it.
It was a rainy Thanksgiving. We have a small family, so our family gatherings are tiny. It was my mom, my two sisters, our grandparents, and I for dinner at my mom's house. My older sister Nancy has been moved out for years. My younger sister Jamie and I still live at home with our mom. Our grandparents live 20 minutes away. Our dad's side of the family all live in a different town. We were all helping out with cooking and such, and our grandma was bringing over some food as well. We always do Thanksgiving dinner at 6 o'clock sharp. Our grandparents arrived at like 5 o'clock. We had to go out and help them walk through the rain up the front stoop to make sure they didn't slip. It was really bad out. Once they were here, we put the football game on in the living room, and I sat with my grandparents and
The
watched
Ohio
the
State
football
game?
with my grandpa, who's a big Cowboys fan. My sisters were in the kitchen helping my mom with the food.
That's why
The
you
rainstorm
finna go
created
through
for a
what you
more
finna go through,
comfortable
gang.
and relaxing Thanksgiving evening. That is, at first. When it was time to set the table, I went to help. We were all at the table by 6 o'clock, as per the usual. We had a giant selection of food for the small amount of people we were. Turkey, leg of lamb, potatoes, stuffing, corn, cranberry sauce,
We're
cornbread,
definitely
and
going
more
out to
food I'll
eat
probably
after these
forgetting.
videos.
We were all at the table eating, drinking wine, and talking before we migrated to the living room, where there we all watched the football game. Then, sometime before the game ended, the doorbell rang. It was still pouring outside, and we weren't expecting anyone else.
Damn, it's raining.
Mom said, "Oh no, what if that's your father?" Long story short, our parents don't speak, but the idea of our father coming to surprise us wasn't impossible. My mom told me to go check who it was. So I
Damn.
went to the door and yelled through it, "Who is it?" But the sound of the pouring rain on the front awning drowned out the sound of a male's voice on the other side. So I opened the door, with the storm door still closed and locked. There was a black man on the other side of the door. He was in some really big rain jacket with the hood up. When I opened the door, he walked closer and yelled something through the door. I had to ask him to repeat it twice before I understood him to be asking for food, saying he's hungry. Then he said something along the lines of, "The Lord will give you good karma if you spare some food."
Oh,
He said
shoot.
1 second. I went to the living room and told my mom there's a possible homeless or just very hungry man asking for food at the front door. My mom said close the door, while my grandma said give him some food. I said I'll make a little paper plate of food for him from the leftovers. I went to the kitchen, grabbed a bunch of paper plates to account for the rain outside ruining them, and then sandwiched some of the leftovers together with them. Then I went to the front door where the guy was still standing. I held up the plate to show him, and he tried opening the door.
What?
I yelled, "Wait, it's locked." But I already was wary now after he tried opening the door. Regrettably, I still
You should have
unlocked
just
the
listened
door.
to your mom,
The second I
dude.
started to push it open, he pulled it open with force and tried pushing his way through me. I instantly threw the food and held him back, yelling for my sisters to come help me. As Nancy came to help shut the door, I saw two more guys rushing up the front walkway to the door. I managed to push the man out enough to clear the door, and I helped my sister slam it shut. The second it was locked, I ran to the backyard door to make sure it was locked. I was the only able-bodied man in the house, and I felt like it was on me to protect the house. My family was in hysterics
Call
as we were
911.
brainstorming what to do.
What the fuck?
Not so shockingly, we settled for calling the police. My mom called while I kept going from window to window
okay.
looking outside. It was hard to see out through the pouring rain, but through the backyard window, I saw a couple men running through the grass to the back door. I'd imagine they tried opening the back door and failed, and then I saw them running through the grass again back to the gate. Then they were gone. When the police got here, the food that I dropped onto the front stoop was still just sitting there. all scattered on the porch.
Wow.
Not that it wasn't obvious that those guys didn't come for the food, but it's something worth mentioning. Our Thanksgiving was almost turned into a complete nightmare if it weren't for my and my sister's quick reactions. I know my grandma had her heart in the right place, wanting to help the seemingly needy, and I was influenced by her.
Take notes, man.
Unfortunately,
If someone
we live
comes
in a
up to your
world where
door, man,
sometimes trying to do the right thing
suspicious,
could
man,
bite
just
you in
shut
the
that
ass.
shit.
We installed the doorbell
Just shut
camera
that shit,
soon
dude.
after this.
That's crazy, though. That was crazy. Like, listen to your mom, bro.
It was Thanksgiving night. I was over my parents' house
Talking
for
about
dinner
it could be your
since they were
dad.
hosting this year. I
Nah,
got to see
bro.
some cousins and uncles that I
Dad
hadn't
gonna
seen in
text or
almost
something,
a
call
year.
before if anything.
We had a
You know what I mean?
typical
Someone gonna do
Thanksgiving
that.
gathering
I'm
for
saying
our
in general,
family.
someone gonna call
My
before
parents
they
cooked a
even
big
show up.
meal
You know
as
what I mean?
usual. Before dinner, though, I got a long essay of a text from some unknown number.
Or say like I'm on the
Won't
way or
share
some
it
shit.
because it
Like
contains
that.
a
Like,
lot of
like, you
personal
know what I mean?
revealing details. But it started with, "Hey Melissa, hope your Thanksgiving is going well." Then I quickly came to realize who it was that sent this text. It was this crazy stalker guy named Kevin, who I'd never even met before. We matched on a dating app and texted and snapped for a while, but we never met. He gave me obsessive vibes, and when I politely rejected going on a date with him, saying I don't think we have much in common, he got
Damn.
even more obsessive and aggressive. He
Damn.
even threatened me one time.
That hurt
I
him.
posted a snap story of my friend and I getting drinks because he thought I was on a date with a guy. That was when I blocked him on everything, Snapchat, Instagram, and his number. But the
Now that's
contacts didn't
crazy,
stop
bro.
there.
That's crazy. You gotta block
Random
somebody,
Instagram
then
accounts with 0
man,
followers
come
attempting to
come
follow
show
me.
up if you want
I
to,
blocked them
man.
each time. Same thing on
Yeah,
Snapchat. I'd get random
go
accounts
come
adding
show
me
if
with
you want
different
to,
guys'
bro.
names every
Stretch
time.
some, dog. Don't
Whenever
play
I'd
with
add
me.
them back out of curiosity, their snap scores were always 0.
Stalking shit.
After reading the entire message, I was disgusted. He was gaslighting me and borderline threatening me. I replied, "If you keep contacting me, I will go to the police." It took so long to form a reply I was okay with that my grandma got annoyed and asked me to put my phone away.
Damn.
It was only out of sight and out of mind for maybe half an hour before I got another text from another random number. It was another essay. I didn't want to completely ruin my mood and be on my phone dealing with this when I was with family.
That's
I put
crazy,
my phone
dude.
away and just tried to focus on being a part of the conversation. When family started to leave and things started to slow down, I checked the text, and it was disturbing. It was longer than the first one, and it was him berating me and insulting me the entire time, acting like the entitled, narcissistic sociopath that he clearly is. When it was just a small amount of my family left, I showed them the texts, and they were appalled. My mom wanted me to go to the police the next day to report him for harassment, which I planned on doing. I soon left my parents' house to go home to my apartment. My apartment is the lower floor of a 2-family house. My friend Chelsea is my roommate in the apartment.
Okay, she got a
I got
roommate.
home before her, and I went straight to my room
That's a
to
good
look for
thing,
Christmas
man.
movies to watch.
That's a good thing.
My phone started ringing, and it said unknown caller. I knew it was him.
Oh, it's that
I
nigga.
denied it and silenced my phone. I put on some silly rom-com Christmas movie to fall asleep to. It was called Surviving Christmas. All I remember about it is that it had James Gandolfini in it. It was late at night, so I didn't plan on making it through the movie. I was getting sleepy halfway through the movie when I heard walking from outside my room in the house. It was in the apartment, not from upstairs, so I assumed it was Chelsea getting home from her night with her family. The footsteps came straight to my door.
Bro,
Someone
what?
attempted to open my door. I always lock my bedroom door at night, even though I trust Chelsea. It's just a natural habit I have.
Take notes, y'all. Lock your door if you got a roommate, no matter who it is.
Before I yelled, "Chelsea?" Then it stopped. I heard quiet footsteps walking away from the door. I grabbed my phone, about to call Chelsea, and I saw a bunch of texts on my screen from a third random number. The most alarming one was a threat saying, "Good thing you made it obvious where you live." I tried calling Chelsea
hell
5
no.
times, but she never picked up. I called my parents a bunch
Call
of times.
911, bro. What? Is she stupid?
I whispered into the phone that I think that crazy stalker was in the house.
The nigga's in the
My dad
house.
said to stay put. He was coming over right away. We lived 10 minutes away from each other, but he made it to me in 5. That's how fast he drove here.
Damn.
During that time, I stayed on the phone.
Damn,
with
he
my
drove
dad
5
the whole
minutes
time
for a
until
10-minute
Chelsea
drive?
called me back.
That nigga was
That's when
pushing
she told
it.
me that she wasn't coming back to the apartment tonight, so it for sure was not her. When my dad got here, the front door was locked. I had to let him in. I swore to him that I wasn't imagining what happened. And so after we tore the place upside down, he went to the big sliding window by the kitchen, big enough that anyone could fit through, and he lifted it open. He turned to me and gave me a stare of disappointment. He scolded me after learning that I didn't lock the windows every night and said, "Here's my answer on how someone got in here." I went back home with him and
That's a
slept at
dumb
home that
motherfucker
night.
right there.
First thing in the morning, my dad took me to the county court's office where they gave us step-by-step instructions for getting a temporary
That's a good ass
restraining
dad.
order. So
That's a
goes
good
back
ass
to the
dad,
process
man.
of
That's a
the
good ass
story.
dad, dude.
I actually did see Kevin in person when I had to go to court to get the restraining order.
Her dad drove 5 minutes and a 10-minute drive. That's good
Though
shit,
it could never
dad.
prove his visit to my apartment, his threatening texts were plenty. And if he ever contacts me again through any outlets, he'd be arrested. This was a truly dangerous man, and I hope he hasn't found anyone else to harass.
That's wild, man. He came up in her shit, dog. Story 3, man. It's the last story, I think.
Most of my family lives in a rural part of Central Florida, closer to the East Coast, though. My Uncle Ben was hosting Thanksgiving one year. His house sits on a huge lake with like 5 other houses. That's it.
Turn
I don't give the
shit.
name of the lake or the town because that would be doxing my uncle, basically. It's not a fancy house and setup like you're picturing, trust me.
Okay.
It's rustic, but private and spacious. My uncle is a bit of a redneck, but he makes our holiday gatherings more fun. Him hosting Thanksgiving this year meant that he'd be going all out, making it like a party, basically, with music, cornhole, coolers full of beers, and all of that good stuff.
That's a turned ass.
We got to his house around 3.
That's a
During
turned
the day,
ass
we all drank
Thanksgiving,
some
man.
beers, ate some snacks like chips and dip, and played drinking games together.
Man, I can't
Card
wait for
games,
Thanksgiving,
cornhole,
man.
and even basketball
I
with
can't
my
wait.
cousin. Though the basketball didn't last long, with 3
I don't
beers
think
and a
I
bunch of
don't think
chips
I
in
want
our
to eat
stomachs.
the rest of the week.
This all went on for a few hours with music
drink water.
blasting. An unusual way of
The
celebrating
week of
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving.
I know. Then as it started
Try
getting
like just
darker around
eat
5:30,
small.
Aunt
Not
Mel and
even,
Uncle
like,
Ben
hardly eat.
started bringing the food out to the table.
I'm working out too.
They
Though.
set the table up under the big gazebo. It was around sunset when everything was set up and we were all eating. The gazebo has lights, so when it got really dark, the lights turned on. By 6 o'clock, it was basically pitch black out. My uncle's probably the only one alive who insists on doing Thanksgiving dinner outside, but we all enjoy it. It makes it more fun. The fun soon ended, though. My cousin suddenly pointed out past me to the woods, saying, "Dad, who's that?" Uncle Ben turned around and said, "Who the hell?" There was someone standing out in front of the woods like a statue, watching us eat.
Wow.
Uncle Ben stood up and started walking over to the guy standing by the woods. And then he yelled, "Can I help you with something?" I'd say he was about halfway to the woods when the guy turned around and ran into the woods.
What?
Uncle Ben turned around and laughed. He was definitely drunk by this point, finding humor in this. He said must be one of the local nuts as he came back to the table to sit. My Aunt Mel was not as amused. I kind of agreed with her. That was creepy. My dad joked that between all the men here, there's nothing to worry about. The lightheartedness of this did not last, though. This time, I spotted the guy. He was standing by the woods again, though closer to the lake this time. I pointed it out to everyone. My uncle got up, pissed off this time.
Ooh.
He started marching over again,
Ooh.
yelling and taunting the guy. His drunkenness was really starting to show now, just in the way he was confronting the trespasser.
He's like, "You
Then we
motherfucker!"
noticed there was another guy in the woods, on the complete opposite side of the yard. And when the one guy that Uncle Ben was approaching ran into the woods again, the other one stayed put.
What?
As Uncle Ben came back to the table, he said there's another one. So my cousin, myself, and my dad all got up now, ready to help my uncle confront these people. And with that, the second guy ran into the woods.
Man, what
At
the
this point, we decided it was
Nobody
time
got a
to
gun?
We started
Y'all pull this
cleaning the
bitch out like,
table and bringing plates
what y'all
and
want to
plates
do,
to
man?
the
Man,
kitchen.
see, y'all not thinking like how I'm
Everything was
thinking,
cleared out of
dog.
the gazebo. We all sat inside the living room. Uncle Ben left the lights on outside, because I know he and Aunt Mel were on high alert with people running around their property being creeps. They didn't look like kids, that was the thing. And who would do this on Thanksgiving is the question.
Right, who doing this on
Our
Thanksgiving, though?
accepted theory was at the time that it was just some drunk older teens or young 20-year-olds with no family gatherings messing around being assholes.
Nah.
Eventually, I wanted to
That's
grab
not
another
normal.
beer, which was in the cooler outside still. As I got up, Uncle Ben and my dad both asked me to grab one too. So I went outside and walked over to the gazebo. I made it to the cooler, suddenly feeling really uneasy. The gazebo light was off now. I looked around, analyzing my surroundings. I grabbed as many beers as I could hold, just so I wouldn't have to come back out here again. Then I started walking back to the house, when I heard one of the chairs under the gazebo sliding on the concrete.
What?
I turned around, and there was someone under the gazebo, walking around the table. He looked massively tall, like 6'5". He
What?
started yelling for Uncle Ben as I ran back to the house. He, along with my dad, came out, and I said, "There's a guy over there." And then, as if someone else was responding to me saying that, there was a banging from the other side of the house, like someone was hitting the siding with their hand. Seeing my uncle and my dad genuinely frightened made me frightened too.
Wow, now these
Went
niggas
inside.
scared, man.
Uncle Ben locked the door. We didn't know how many people were outside of the house, but we felt like the house was surrounded. And Aunt Mel started shutting every last curtain and blind in the house because we felt like we were being watched from the outside. Uncle Ben called the police, which was a first. It felt completely out of character for him to involve the police in anything. He was only on the phone with them for like 5 to 10 minutes. Then we waited in the living room, with clear tensions and unease in the room. There was this quick and sudden loud bang on the glass, followed by a window in the kitchen completely shattering.
What?
Aunt Mel yelled at Uncle Ben to go get the old rifle from the closet.
Go grab that
The
motherfucker.
thing hadn't been loaded in years. Luckily, the police response time was pretty good. A singular beep of the siren from the police car outside let us know he arrived. One of the people outside had thrown a brick through the window with a note attached to it, saying, "Leave now, you fuck fits," which felt like a threat.
What?
His Trump flag was also missing the next day, which created the possibility of those people's motives being political. That's really the most realistic theory.
That's crazy
Unless
as
my
fuck,
aunts,
bro.
uncle, and cousin are secretly the worst neighbors ever, I see no other reason why their house would be a target for something like this. On Thanksgiving, nonetheless. There really are some sickos out there.
Man, don't nobody play with my girl. Especially my kid, bro. Man, I swear to God, I'll turn something. I brought something in this world. I'll take something out in this world, dog. Real talk, man. I ain't playing with none of that. Man, y'all gotta get yourselves a gun, bro. Real talk.